Hey, my name is John McElhatton and welcome to my channel. In this video, here I want to share with you 7 steps to help you with your motivation because let's be honest, we all get discouraged, we all get in some sort of a struggle from the day-to-day with life just throwing some stuff at us. So I want to give you an action plan and some things that will help you turn some things around, maybe some perspectives and just some action steps that will help you go from that point of, all right, I'm discouraged, something's got me down, something, whether it was a person or situation of the day, just took the thunder out of me, and how can I get that back? So by the end of this video, you'll have that 7-step process to get back in the game so you can start doing the things that you know you should be doing but just don't feel like it to start growing your business. So these 7 steps are put in place of really how I think on things. Now, I think about things in a lot of different ways because I'm a very analytical type of person. So some of these may fit you, some of them may not, but definitely take all of the process into place and really fine-tune it into what would be the most efficient and effective that would be for you. So the first one is really getting through the positivity right away. I really believe in being surrounded with a positive message, environment, and people to help you really get the things that you want out of life. Because honestly, life is too short, even though sometimes the weeks, the months, the years may seem really long. But you know what? Every once in a while, when you really look back at what you've accomplished, sometimes you don't accomplish all the things that you want to in a period of time. So that's why I think it's very, very valuable to get some philosophies and some mantras really down, get that positivity going on, because positivity leads to the action of being proactive about what you need to do. So that's the first step, is getting some philosophies that are really down packed. And on the blog, if you're not on the blog right now, feel free to check out the link in the comment section. That'll take you to the main article where you'll see some of the ones that are the quickest and most powerful, in my opinion, that really help me get into that motivation. So step 2 is what happens when you quit. Now, this is sort of the carrot versus the stick mentality, obviously this one being the stick, of really thinking about, okay, what happens if things don't really go that well? And what happens when you just throw in the towel, put that white flag out there, that white towel? And this really goes into, who does it affect beyond yourself? There's always some sort of a bigger picture. And a lot of people call this the why, some people call it the purpose, but when it is larger than the things that are stopping you, than those obstacles, it's a huge, huge benefit. Because when you want something much more than what it feels like when you're being stuck and you get in that obstacle position, you can go much farther than you ever thought that you could. Step 3 is how to be accountable for yourself. One of the best pieces of advice that I've ever been given from the very beginning of my business and entrepreneur journey is accountability. And just put some personal responsibility out there is also my worst part. Also the thing that I'm working on the most is actually taking the time to track and measure what is going on. After all, you can't understand where your business is at, where you're at, and what you need to specifically work on to be the most efficient, most effective if you're not auditing yourself. So really it comes down to, if someone were to audit you, if let's say your mentor or even better, one of the people who looks up to you were to audit what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, would they be impressed? Would they actually want to follow you based on what you're actually doing on the day-to-day, on the hour-to-hour? But first off, you have to make time to measure and track what you're doing. It could be as simple as, hey, these are 5 things that I want to make sure I get done, that I must get done in order to build what I want to have, and just put the date next to them, and just put yes or no for starters, but something to track and measure your progress. So step 4 is the bigger picture. It's understanding why it is that people struggle. And from my experience and also from my own personal journey, it really comes down to people managing their expectations and their attitude. A lot of times when people get into a business or they see the opportunity to people have a lot of different leaders underneath them, or be in a business where they can have a lot of different happy customers in an area they're passionate in, then the expectations and the attitude just skyrocket on up there. And it becomes, okay, I've got to sign people up, got to get prospects, got to get recruits, got to get signed up sales and customers, rather than slowing down and really looking at getting into the action steps, getting into the small things that help you create the result. Because honestly, not only in the society of America, but also in the society of the world, there for the most part is a huge essence on the result rather than the process or the action step. When the truth is, you don't get into momentum by focusing on the result, because that's when your expectations and your attitude get out of line. What happens is when you get into the process, if you focus on the action steps and focus on getting those done a little bit by little bit, the smallest action step can get you momentum to feel like, man, I have started to accomplish something. Let me go ahead and see if I can do it more. And that's one of the reasons why people struggle is the expectation and the attitude. It's also the story inside themselves thinking, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Well, if I get rejected, what if this person doesn't sign up right away? What if they don't buy as much as I want them to? What will they think of me? So a lot of times it's the story that we have in our head of why we end up struggling. And whenever you're playing a negative story in your head or these what if type of situations, they can be very easy to get disheartened, discouraged, and start going down a downward spiral. So what do you do to get out of that situation? Well, what I recommend is if you're not on the blog already, check out the blog on the description below, and they'll start to fill in the answers for you of how you can get out of that struggle mentality. Step number 5 is the turning point, and that's one of my personal favorites. There's that transition when you're looking for answers, when you're looking for all these sort of mantras, these philosophies, these motivations to help you do the actions that you need to do. But then there becomes a transition point, and it can be a daily, hourly, or hopefully it's more lifelong. It's when you transition from looking at people, these leaders, these mentors, these heroes in your life that really get you energized and motivated to do the work, to where all of a sudden you become the person who is the source. Your own action, your own thoughts, your own story becomes the source to empower yourself and also to empower others. That's the transition point. When you become the consumer, when you become almost this needy type of person who needs the content, who needs to listen to a certain message in order to get motivated, to understanding, hey, I can do this. I've got the action steps. I know the process already. I know the message. Now all of a sudden I can become the source for my own leadership, my own drive, and help others do the same. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with any kind of motivation now and then, but what will help you get even more results is when you start taking 90% of the time to get the action and be the source for yourself and to be self-driven, self-reliant, then 10% of the time looking out there for nooks and crannies and not doing the reverse. When you're doing 90% of the time looking for messages and trying to find people, granted it will help you get through the transition in the beginning, but it's not the point where you want to be there all the time because that's not the action phase. That's not going to get you the results that you want to have. Step 6 is realizing what there is excited to be about in the industry. Now there's 3 quick ones that are on the blog, but what I really like, it's the commitment and the lifestyle to get better yourself, to develop yourself as a person, as a family member, as a person who will uplift your community, your friends, your family, your spouse, coworkers, strangers that soon become friends. But it's the ability to uplift yourself through personal development, positivity, and proactivity. And then when you are able to get yourself in gear, then you can help others. And that's the biggest thing, is when you get to that point where you're happy, you're balanced, you know what you need to do, you can help others do the same thing. And the last one, step 7, is what can you do? What are the action steps that you can take? There's some great nuggets of knowledge on the blog, but in this particular sense, I want to share with you my favorite one. And that is doing the simple things. Focusing on the activities that get you the result, the activity that produce a process and a system to help you get the result rather than focusing on the result. That's what you can do. So if you found this video a little bit helpful, found a few great nuggets of knowledge, please do like and subscribe and comment below to let me know which of the 7 steps helped you the most or were your favorite. As always, if you're a proactive person, if you're an ambitious person, make sure to check out the free training linked over here or in the description below. There's some great cheat sheets and video trainings that help you get step by step to be more confident, more proactive, and help you take the action steps that you need to grow your business. And always remember, in this business and anything in life that it takes a little bit of time to get the skill set and the mastery for, you have to be bad before you can be good, and you have to be good before you can be great. So thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next video.